any single day God, praise God, praise God. If you haven't been moved yet this morning, check to make sure you have a pulse. It is indeed one of the great honors and moments in my life to be able to stand before you to introduce today's speaker. As I was searching for the proper words to use to introduce this young man, a quote from Muhammad Ali came to mind that bears out exactly who he is. I done wrestled with an alligator, I done tussled with a whale, handcuffed lightning and thrown thunder in jail. Only last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so bad I make medicine sick. We have with us today our beloved brother in the struggle, Dr. Cornel West. Dr. West so graciously volunteered of himself to come and be with us in the struggle in this moment. I'm not going to throw all this platitudes at you. Author, actor, activist, fearless leader in the movement for claiming the rights of people of color, and one of the very few men in the world capable of completely shutting down HBO's Bill Maher. As we as a country presently stand devoid of a viable, reliable, and meaningful and respected black leadership, I happily and wholeheartedly offer to you, to this community, to this nation, Dr. Cornel West. And I learned a new salute on yesterday. So after we are rendered a selection by Reverend Sekou, who I don't find in the congregation at the very moment. But after we're rendered another musical selection, the very next voice that you will hear will be Dr. Cornel West. God bless you. Be prepared. I woke up in the morning with my mind, yeah, stay on freedom, hallelujah, 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 walking and talking with my mind, stay on freedom, hey, walking and talking with my mind, stay freedom, walking and talking with my mind, yeah, stay on freedom, hallelujah, 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 ain't no harm, stay on freedom, ain't no harm to keep your mind.
How sweet it is to be in the struggle for justice. I don't know about you, but I am who I am because somebody loved me. Somebody cared for me. Somebody attended to me. We are who we are because somebody loved us. And justice is what love looks like in the heart. And that's why we here, not so much just to talk and worship, we got some action to do. We gonna bear witness today. We gonna keep alive the legacy consecrated in this church, First Baptist Church, 153 years of struggle. 153 years. You can't be in this church and not hear the voice, not feel the spirit, not be touched by the souls of those precious African peoples who were enslaved by some sick white brothers and sisters. And here we are in 2017, and we still got sick white brothers and sisters wearing the sheets. We still got sick white brothers and sisters, neo-Nazi, neo-fascist, losing sight not just of the humanity of black people, but of indigenous peoples and brown peoples and Jewish brothers and sisters and Arab brothers and sisters and Muslim brothers and sisters and spitting on the gay brothers and lesbian sisters and the bisexual and the trans folk. I don't know about you, but I come from a tradition that's manifest not just in this magnificent musicianship, but the Isley Brothers says the caravan of love. Same tradition. Same tradition. You come from a people who've been hated for 400 years.
All right. Yes. Talk about it.
Dishonored and devalued and demeaned for 400 years. Terrorized for 400 years. Stigmatized for 400 years. Traumatized for 400 years. Yet here comes John Coltrane's Love Supreme.
Amen. Amen.
Here comes James Baldwin's love-soaked essays. Love forces us to take off the mask. We know we cannot live within, but fear we cannot live without. Here come Tony Mars and Be Loving. Here come Marvin Gaye, What's Going On.
Amen.
Donny Hathaway's ghetto different than a hood, isn't it? I'm a product of the ghetto. I didn't come from a hood. The ghetto got a lot of love in it.
All right.
And the hood is like Wall Street. It's a survival of the slickest.
Yes.
Obsessed with the 11th commandment, thou shalt not get caught.
All right. All right.
So when we look at this present moment today, look at this Saturday, we got to realize that there's a long tradition in the American empire of spiritual blackout. And that's what we have to wrestle with. We want to constitute prophetic fight back in the face of spiritual blackout. That's what we here to do.
All right.
That's what we here to do. But we're not going to do it in a self-righteous way. We don't have a monopoly on truth. You can look at me. I ain't got no monopoly on beauty, but I still love my mama. I'm a Jesus-loving, free black man. Which means that in all of my imperfections, I know I can make some choices. I can straighten my back up.
Yes.
Used to be a brother in my church every 5th Sunday. His name was Sylvester Stewart. He used to play the organ. He's known to the world for the genius that he is. He's been sitting in much too long. at Shiloh Baptist Church on the chocolate side of Sacramento, California. He was from the chocolate side of Vallejo, California. And he wrote a song very appropriate for us today. He wrote a song called Stand. You've been sitting much too long. There's a permanent crease in your right and wrong. Stand! There's a giant standing tall. And the neo-fascists and the neo-Nazis about to fall. Say, oh, Brother West, you talking about they fall. I told you last night, I believe in charitable Christian hatred.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I learned it in Vacation Bible.
All right.
I hate the sin, but love the sinner.
Amen.
I got some sin in me. You got some white supremacy inside of us. We got some male supremacy in there. We got some homophobia in there. We got some transphobia in there. We got too much American imperial sensibility, thinking that an American baby has more value than a precious baby in Pakistan or Yemen or Somalia or in Tel Aviv or in the West Bank or in Canada.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Stand with self-righteousness, but we do stand with a connection to something bigger than us. The great Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel used to call it remembrance. Yes. When we march this morning, we hold hands and lock in this morning, when we sing this morning, when we get arrested this morning, when we go to jail this morning, let's try to remember those, the best of those who came before, who sacrificed so much for us, who paid a greater cost than we gonna pay today. I'm talking about grandmama and granddad. I'm talking about Cedric Douglass and Ida B. Wells Barnett. I'm talking about Martin Garvey. I'm talking about Martin Luther King Jr. I'm talking about Dorothy Day. I'm talking about Edward Said. I'm talking about Anne Frank. I'm talking about Malcolm X. I'm talking about Donny Hathaway. I'm talking about Thomas Mayfield. I'm talking about all of those who gave everything that they had. We stand in that position. The bondage is hitting you. Yes, there's some atheists and agnostic folk. Some of them left the church because the church failed them.
All right.
Amen.
Talk about it.
Still kept some love in their heart. Just like we're going to be dealing with a whole lot of twisted Christians.
Yes.
Never forget that. That many of these sick white brothers and sisters read the same Bible some of we Christians do. They just get it twisted. Together, with smiles on our faces, but a sense of remembrance and a reverence greater than the idols of this world. We're going to show this nation today.
All right.
That we in the world, but not
Of the world. All right.
We non-conform. We're going to shatter the chains of conformity and complacency and complicity and, most importantly, cowardliness.
Yes.
The spiritual blackout is the relative eclipse of integrity, honesty, decency, and generosity in the nation. It is the callousness toward others. It is the indifference of those Jesus called the least of these. The indifference toward the vulnerable. The indifference, not caring, not being concerned. That's what we're going to shatter this morning in our bearing witness as we come together across religious traditions, across all traditions, as human beings, yes indeed. And that is a beautiful thing. There's something sublime about trying to accent the best in each and every one of us. And when we do it together, it's life transforming. Brother Sekou and I don't know how many times we've been to jail, brother. we got jail songs. Carl Dix the same way. But it is indeed. But we got brother Seth and sister Mash, Reverend Mash. Y'all get ready to run. Oh, you just let us know. I didn't come to Charlottesville to run my mouth. I came here to go to jail. I came here to bear witness. I came here to fuse with my brothers and sisters of all different colors and nations and sexual orientations. This is the time for action. This is not a moment for sunshine soldiers. We need all seasoned love warriors.
Talk
That's
about
what
it.
we're going to be. We're going to be loved. Morally shallow. 1 out of 2 are black children, brown children under 6. 1 out of 2, that's 50% live in utter poverty in the richest nation in the history of the world. Something pathological about that. The American Empire. About 26,172 bombs last year. Talk about we are force for peace. Just be honest about it. We living in a bleak moment. It is precisely telling the truth about that bleakness that frees us up. We must never allow anybody to normalize mendacity. To make lies look like they're part of the normal order of things. We must never allow anybody to naturalize criminality. To make crimes look like it's part of the natural order of things. White supremacist slavery was a crime against humanity. Jim and Jane Crow was a crime against humanity. The new Jim Crow, the mass incarceration regime, is a crime against humanity. That's what we're going to tell our fellow citizens today. That white supremacy is a lie. It says that black love is a crime. We say black love is a virtue. It says that black history is a curse. We know from the history of this church that's that black history is a blessing.
All right. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
It says that black freedom is a pipe dream. Give up on it. Be maladjusted to injustice. Maladapted to indifference. No, we say black freedom is real. Sometimes all we can do is hear it in the music. Foretastes of the freedom that we're struggling. Sometimes we can see it with a hug and a grin and a connection, a friendship, a companionship. It's a prefiguration of something greater. And white supremacy says that black hope is a joke. Give up on hope. No possibility whatsoever of having your humanity affirmed. You're going to be invisible from your mama's womb to the tomb. And we say we don't believe in abstract discourses of hope. In fact, the very term hope has been so deodorized and colonized. I'm from a tradition that likes to keep it funky. Don't give me the deodorized stuff. Don't give me the sanitized stuff. Don't give me sterilized stuff. So when we talk about hope, we going this morning be a hope. It's not a discourse about hope. We going to be a hope. What is being a hope? Be in motion. Be in movement. Keep love at the center of it. Something bigger than our ego. Connected to community. Connected to the species. That's what we're talking about this morning. And are we ready to be a hope this morning in the face of what we understand structures of evil to be? We're not here to hate anybody, and we love it in such a way that we hate of evil. That's what it's all about. And that's why when they see us with a smile, they're going to say, who are these strange folk of all colors and sexual orientation and religious tradition? Don't they realize that they can get hurt? Don't they realize that some of them might get hit? Some of us might even get shot. That's all right. We are willing to pay the cost of truth, of goodness, of beauty, and for some of us they're holy, and for some of us what it means to be a follower of a Palestinian dude named Jesus, who was willing to be in solidarity with those who suffer. Let us march with a smile on us.
Children or pets on stage, add Cornell West to their picture. So now the Negro can consciously cry out with the eloquent voice. Fleecy locks and black complexion cannot forfeit nature's claim. Skin may differ, but affection dwells in black and white the same. Were I so tall as to reach the pole, or to grasp at the ocean at the span, I must be measured by my soul. The mind is the standard of the man. With this new sense of dignity, this new sense of self-respect, a new Negro came into being with a new determination to suffer and struggle and sacrifice in order to be free. So in a real sense, we have come a long, long way since 1619. Those are the words of Dr. Martin Luther King at a speech at Dartmouth in 1962. I would challenge that to say that the events of this weekend and over the past few months have indicated that we still have an incredibly long, long way to go. There's an ancient Chinese proverb that says, that's translated to say, snakes don't commit suicide. Take that and deal with it as you will. Amen. I will now call on our good sister, Reverend Winnie Vardis, to come up and give us some reflections on today, on last night, on whatever it is that touches her heart. God bless you. If you would, welcome Reverend Winnie.
So you've already heard how foolish it is to go up after these two, and it is foolish. And I often get to do this in my life, and it's a privilege. And I have one thing to say today, one thing I want to remind you of. I'm from New York, and I bring you greetings from New York. It is a privilege to be here. There are a lot of Episcopal churches here in Virginia, and our work as Episcopalians is to line up those churches in this movement. I think it's the very least the Episcopal Church can do, and if you're an Episcopalian in this room, I want your commitment to do it. There's one thing I want to say. One, the whole world watches you today. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I have a story for you. I went to the Union Theological Seminary in New York. Usually in a room like this, there are a couple of people that went to Union.
Yeah.
I was there in the late 90s. I went to a funeral at St. John the Divine Memorial that the South African consulate put on for Trevor Huddleston. He's an Anglican priest in South Africa, well known and beloved of Desmond Tutu, one of the first white men to show some honor and dignity to his mother, and he remembered it throughout his life. Most of us from Union went not because we knew who Trevor Huddleston was, but because Nelson Mandela was going to be there. And he was there. We went to see him in person. And he told us of the power of the institution of the church and its people. He told us who Trevor Huddleston, this guy in a dress like Reverend Zig is wearing today, how important he was to them, the generation he raised up. So for those of you from the institutional church today, let us not underestimate the power of these institutions when we get it right. It doesn't mean the entire institution has to get it right. Just you. That's enough. You speak for all of it on a day like today. So I left this funeral pretty jazzed that I saw Nelson Mandela in the flesh. He was right over there like that. I was done for life. That was that. Good. And I walked out next to Dr. Forbes, Dr. Jim Forbes, who was our preaching professor, because life was that good at the Union Theological Seminary. And he said, "Tell me what your last name is again." So I told him, "Verghese." And he said, "Are you related to Paul Verghese?" I said, "Yeah, that's my brother, but I don't think you mean him, right? My little brother." He said, "No. Do you know Bishop Paul Verghese?" I said, "Of course we do. He's from our community. He's an Orthodox bishop, famous in our community, Mar Gregorius, one of the great peacemakers in India of our time, a great revolutionary who stood up both to the British and then, after that movement, stood up to the injustice of the new Indian state, fearlessly, again and again and again, as Dr. Blackman reminded us last night, because sometimes you don't cut the head off the lion and it comes back over and over and over again, and it did for us. He was also a leader of the World Council of Churches, and it turns out, according to Dr. Forbes, that Mar Gregorius came to the United States in the 1950s at the invitation of SCLC, coordinated through the World Council of Churches, to talk to some young men who were organizing a movement, it was men, organizing a movement for the dignity of African American people in this country. One conversation among many, I'm sure, but life-changing for me, that we among the institutional church might be carrying movements around this world for freedom, in our bodies, in our language, in our relationships, that what happens to you today informs who you are in the church. Don't forget to tell everyone, even if it is some modest gathering of people who probably aren't going to be very successful in what it is that they plan to do. You have no idea. And today, the whole world can watch you. On social media, on Facebook, people are watching you. Thank you for being here. And don't forget the power that you have today. Go and be brave and fierce and bold out there, because we can. We have the great privilege of doing it. But don't forget the power that you carry in your institutions, the places that you come from. And if you don't come from the institutions, challenge these institutions to be who we are supposed to be. Amen. In Charlottesville, know that many of us around the country stand with you today. Not just those of us that are here in this room, and we stand with you tomorrow. And we know you are at the center of this fight. And know that there are people around the world praying for you. People with power, and a lot of people only with a lot of need, praying and standing with you. God bless you, and thank you for giving us this opportunity for powerful witness among you. Amen.
As we race towards that benediction, I want to remind everyone that we have a couple of parades scheduled after our service this morning. We'll be marching linked arm in arm with the spirit of Brother Martin and the mindset of Brother Malcolm. By any means necessary. We're going to have another musical selection before we move towards our closing. So I'll bring back First Baptist Church Music Ministry and Reverend Cville.
I hear freedom in the air over my head. I hear freedom in the air over my head. I hear freedom in the air. There must be Just I hear justice in the air over my head. I hear justice in the air over my head. I hear justice in the air. There must be a God somewhere over my head. I hear peace over my head. I hear peace in the air. Can we do that one more time? Oh, freedom. I said, are y'all all right? So I know Elder's going to come and bless us. So I just need how many of y'all have been trained? So you've been trained. You know what I mean when I say you've been trained. Why don't all of y'all come down here for me?
downtown Charlottesville, right across from First Baptist Church. The clergy and their colleagues are assembling, beginning to assemble before we march over. They just received a blessing and a charge, and they're starting to walk.
Hi, good to see you again. You're protected.
This rock. I don't know where he is. Do you know where he is?
Someone in front of the church like 10 minutes ago. Be anywhere by now. So the clergy march is headed on its way down Market Street toward, we're about to cross 5th Street and headed toward the park.
Yep, that's the case. They're all Constitution. That's what they wanted. So you saw what happened last time. Yeah, we got back and rolled out there to sleep, and then saw us pop out and came by the time. Got nothing done, so shut up.
So this group is headed to, they're walking over to the Jefferson. The clergy have not officially started that march yet. That is my current
There are. There's one for people who have been formally trained. So where's that? Are those people still gathering? Yeah, they're gathering and they're going on a different route. Maybe we should go on that route. Have you been trained? I'm a reporter.
Why is it important for you to be out today?
Because it's important for people to see that we're coming out and we're standing in the face of white supremacists, and we're not going to allow their rhetoric to be spewed in our town. A lot of people say, you know, just ignore them, it'll go away, just stay home, it's not safe. Well, it's also not safe to let their voices be heard, to let their voices be magnified, to let their groups congregate and multiply, and let their words be to be ingested. That's not safe. To let this cancer of racism and white supremacy and patriarchy metastasize, that's not safe. So in order to, you know, cut the head off the snake or cut out the cancer, we got to stop it right here, right now. And this is how you do it.
How do you feel that all these folks are out to support Black Lives?
Look at
Movement
this.
for Black Lives.
Look at this.
So we're seeing a march coming down to meet us here.
They're all coming down to support Black Lives. There's another march coming down the street. They support Black Lives. There are people at home live streaming. They support Black Lives. Look, this is not just us. You know, everybody's doing their thing. They're either live streaming, they're texting their friends out of town. They're saying, hey, look at what Charlottesville's doing in the face of this. So we're not going to let it stand. We're not just going to let white supremacists come in here and stomp on our parks and hit our, you know, UVA students and think they can get away with it. No. We come to exercise our First Amendment rights. Just as they come to exercise their First Amendment rights, so-called, that's what we're doing. We're coming to speak out. We're using love to support each other, to unite, to be together. Charlottesville is together. Charlottesville believes in the better hope of a new history of Charlottesville. History is what you make of it. It's not just the history in that statue. I don't want to promote the history of that statue. I don't want to promote the Southern heritage of that statue. My grandmother was raised in Virginia too. My father played in the streets of Charlottesville. That's our heritage, a heritage of love and togetherness. Hear the singing. Hear the people coming together in positivity and love and in unity. That's what this is about.
Great. So we have your name and...
David Strawn, DAVID-STRAUGHN of Black Lives Matter Charlottesville. Not yet an official chapter, but we're in the works, and we're going to be official soon.
Great. Well, thanks for coming out today.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Charlottesville! Woo!
So that's David Strawn of the Black Lives Matter Charlottesville chapter. He is speaking some truth about the need to defend Cville, to come out in an overwhelming support against the hatred that is happening in the town today. So you heard it from him. We're going to be featuring and live streaming all day. You know, I got my partner here doing some great work. We're going to give you a little sense of just the outpouring of support for the movement for Black Lives and to defend Cville against white supremacist hate. You can see, you can hear just like the singing and everything that's going on. I would say there's about maybe 100 people already out, and people are just pouring in from the streets. There's a march that just came down from a Baptist church, and you can hear folks singing. So let's just take it all in and hear what's going on.
Getting discouraged.
Can you check in with the folks? And I'll take it.
That he will indeed bring us through this. This is another storm in life that we have to go through. But there is a bright side somewhere. I pray for each and every one of you. I love you all for being here. We will march in protest, shout down white supremacy, shout down tyranny, shout down oppression, and reclaim our city.
That's Don Gather speaking of Black Lives Matter Charlottesville.
They do not belong here. God bless you. This is our city. And no one comes in uninvited and makes any attempt to take it from us. Our streets. So as we proceed, remember, peaceful, non-confrontation. We will sing, we will chant, we will love each other.
So, ma'am, what brings you out today?
To stand against the fascism and the white supremacy that's happening right now. Basically to counter all the hate with love.
How you feeling at the moment?
I'm good. I'm glad we're here. I really am. But, you know, it's always, we're just hoping to bring some positive light to the city right now. Thanks.
Absolutely, and we welcome you. And we thank you for coming to join us. So make sure that you walk and hold arms with your brother and your sister. Okay? We're going to have to be together on this. There will be no police down. All right? Please be safe, watch after each other, and protect yourselves. But don't worry. This is a city that has your back. Now to the people. I see my big brother Calvin, don't you? God bless you. We appreciate you all being here. Let us proceed and let us end McGuffey Park in unity. Ready? If anybody needs water, some of our folks in some places that give us water. If anyone needs water, grab some before we
Morning. So, could you just tell us a little bit about what brings you out today? But how are you feeling? Give us a rundown of what's happening.
Yeah.
In a minute.
Yeah.
who are serving as our legal observers for today. They're in the live electric green hats over here. They are our friends. If there becomes a problem, seek one of them out. All right?
Cool. Yeah, thanks. So could you just describe for us what brings you out today? How you're thinking about it? And why you're here?
Well, I'm enraged and alarmed at this blatant display of racism, white supremacy. You know, it's terrifying. It's obviously licensed at the highest levels. I do think that it's a backlash against progress that we've made recently. I think it's obviously a backlash against having our first black president. It's a backlash against finally this belated removal of monuments to the Confederacy. So in that sense, I do see it as sort of last-ditch effort by people who are clearly, a thing of the past, at least we hope. So we're here to insist that that's true.
Anything else you want to add?
Actually, I would add, I'm obviously not the first person to make this point, but, symbols are important. As someone who works on representations, I know that symbols are important, representations are important, but, you know, before these folks came to town, we have a lot of enduring structural racism having to do with economic disparities, having to do with the universities not paying living wage. So, you know, having to do with the 25% poverty rate, half the kids in public schools are eligible for free lunch. So those are the structural things we need to work on long, long after the state.
Thank you very much.
Forward, smiles.
Hi, so
Thank you.
It's always good that the compared soundbite. The right person. Passion. I don't know.
You're so short. I'll give you this. That's right.
All right.
On the way down or whatever.
And are you?
Taking a few shots of
That'll get my
Where is everybody, by the way?
Try not to.
So I'll hang with you guys, but that's
This are like white 20-something males who wear polos, so I was like, I'm gonna wear these.
I got 18 months, so I guess it's over. I'll be here for a
You know, we're starting interviews.
70s Phillies cap on. I noticed you at the church too.
A place where you have a group view of things, you know, take notes, you know the drill.
Protein. What's that? Like over, you want to be on that, over there? They had a chorus of this little light of mine going, and I can't quite pick out what they're singing now. But they're singing as they go.
And so the bishop's email said that then clergy would stay at the Methodist Church all day?
Right, because that's when it was, because that's kind of
While the other rally's going on, they're going to be clergy will be in the church.
well, I think they
I think actually have it
Like people like that.
The other way.
Okay, cool. So we're like. Local motorists seem less than pleased. Apparently they're less patient for justice than the folks marching.
I don't think it was that.
They're going to be
I don't think so. So the other thing they said is there's no formal social action committee. So for CVI as an organization, since it's a controversy, so they don't.
So the crowd is up the hill, and the front of the line has even turned the corner, and the rest of the crew is still coming down through a traffic light through those trees, and those folks are still waiting to get through the light.
I think there has to be a conversation afterwards.
In New York. Yeah, supporting himself.
He went to the
Film school.
Yes, no, right, exactly. Where's the controversial issue? Yeah, that's my feeling.
All loved by God, and all having equality under the law, and wanting to lift up that we want to recognize God values all people, regardless of color or race or language, and that I'm Lutheran, so we're throwing Martin Luther King. You talked about not measuring by the color of skin, but by the content of the character. And that's why we're here.
Thank you. What about you?
Absolutely, same thing. And that, you know, our faith is not just a show up in church thing, but it really is about putting your faith into action. And, you know, the message of the folks about excluding people and that somehow they're being replaced, that's not right? You know, we are one country under God, right? We are all human beings, and so it just, you know, we want this to be peaceful. We want it to be a show of love and not a show of hate. And, you know, but again, our faith calls us to, like, do things, right? We can't just go to church. We have to be a part of the world and making the world a better place. We are God's hands in the world, so that's why we're here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Are you showing people's faces?
No.
Okay. I'm going to start asking if people are okay with the show, without showing their faces.
Okay.
If they say okay, then you can angle it.
Thanks. I appreciate you kind of thinking.
Yeah, of course.
That's...
You're doing a lot.
I'm feeling a little more safe. So.
I've done before. I've done
I don't know if you can hear it, but up close to the top of the march, they're singing freedom songs.
You know, again, they get in your face and say you don't read
Look at this. Just the shot of it. Well, actually, no, we don't want the faces.
Yeah. Maybe I can just go over a little bit and get like more distance.
Woo. Going uphill.
Yeah.
No, the other. That's the, you know, if you go to University of Richmond.
Nobody else seems winded.
I'm from Pittsburgh. Bills are nothing. Sorry. Especially when you're going uphill, right? Actually, I don't know where to be. Because the torch light in the back. And this came because now west and all the oh my gosh. This is their way of letting them know. I don't know if they made the connection with that stuff. No.
Alright, we're coming up on 2nd Street.
King's Tops.
At the top of the hill. Looks like more cops escorting buses. Charter buses. So there's chanters up at the, there's counter protesters up at the top of the hill chanting, "No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome here." Cool.
We're coming up on a park.
No fear! Let's go, Lord!
not speak for me and everyone I know. And this community is very anti what these people are bringing. And we need to get rid of the Confederate statues. They were put up to oppress black people in this town. They need to come down. It's past time.
So you're committed to nonviolence?
Yes, we're Quakers and we believe in strict nonviolence. You don't respond to hate with hatred. You need to respond with love to show that we want to spread the message of love and tolerance and acceptance of all.
What does it mean to respond to love to you?
Well, Quakers believe there's that of God in everyone, even the white supremacists, and that there's a spark of good in everyone, and we need to appeal to that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for what you're doing. I didn't know where to look. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
No,
That's
it's
all right.
fine.
It was perfect.
No,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I had a hard time knowing if they said it was fine to film the faces or not.
They said yeah.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I got the
Sure, yeah, of course. Is it okay to show your face? Okay.
I'm here because some of my ancestors owned slaves in South Carolina and Charlottesville, South Carolina, at the McQueen Plantation. So while it is not my fault for what they did, it is my responsibility to stand up as a white person to say no to the disrespect and disenfranchisement of people of color.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for finding us.
That's great.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like people are excited to be here and they have things they want to say.
But yeah, it seems like the refrain that we've heard from a lot of people we've talked to is the idea that you're responding to hate and violence with love, and that means standing up and confronting but not being violent and supporting your
people! Power to the people!
Welcome. Welcome to the People's Action on Racial Justice. This is the beginning of the end of white supremacy. Yeah. Right here. My name is Walt Heineke. I am the official permit holder for this park, but right now I officially turn over that permit to the good people of Charlottesville. You. This is your park. This is your day for free assembly. This is your day to protest Nazism, white supremacy, and racial intolerance. This is your day, okay? In a minute, we're going to have a couple of speakers from the clergy collective and a few other people. I just want to let everyone know there's a medic station back there. There's water from the Care Bears back there and sustenance. There's shade tables. So if you see a person with a red shirt and a black hat, those are park marshals. If you see anything going down that doesn't work, contact one of the park marshals with the red shirt and a black hat, okay? We have security here. This is our permit. If anybody trespasses that shouldn't belong here, let a security guard know or us, and they will be asked to be removed, okay? So let's have a peaceful, non-violent day, and thank you very much for coming. I'm going to turn it over to Don Gathers.
Once again, good morning, Charlottesville. Good morning. God bless each and every one of you. We love and cherish each and every one of you. And we thank you so much for coming out this morning as we stand together to shut down oppression and tyranny
Good morning, Charlottesville. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for hosting a visitor from Richmond here. It's very important to me that I share this time with you. I grew up in 1960s Alabama. No more. No more of that. It's wonderful to be with you today. Thanks for turning out. Stay safe and God bless you all.
Thank you, Bishop. I would be absolutely terribly remiss if I did not once again thank Walt Heineke for so graciously letting us assemble in his park that he has ceded over to us for today, so it is now our park. I also want to thank the volunteers that are here, the medics that are identified with the Red Cross. I want to thank the legal observers who are here. They're identified with the lime green hats. I promise you can't miss them. If there is any issue, health-wise or legally, please seek out one of these people. And I promise that they will come readily to your aid. Where's my good brother in the Battle of West Bellevue? He left. Well, then send his stunt double up here. I now present to you our Vice Mayor, and again, my brother in the struggle, West Bellevue.
No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome. Let me hear. No hate, no fear. Let me hear. White supremacy is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. White supremacy is not welcome here. Give yourselves a round of applause. We said it earlier when we started walking from the Jefferson School. This is a celebration, not a funeral. If you're here to be sad, you need to go home. If you're here because you think something bad is going to happen, I need you to pray, but then you probably need to go home. Because the good people that I know who are here today are not only willing to keep us safe and stand up, but we're here to show the world, not just Charlottesville, not just Virginia, that this is our community. This is our city. And this city, Charlottesville, Virginia, all of the zip codes that it includes, this is a city that not only sticks together, not only that loves each other, but will not tolerate the hate, the bigotry, and racism of those who come from the outside to pull us apart. This city, I ain't talking about nowhere else. I'm not talking about Stanton. I'm not talking about Lynchburg. I'm not talking about Richmond, D.C., New York, anywhere else. No disrespect to those places, but I'm talking about the city that I love, Charlottesville. This city is one that stands up tall. This city is one that represents what you see everybody out here today. People from different races, from different hues, from different ages, from different backgrounds, from different socioeconomic status, different sexual orientations, different religions, different creeds, in some cases different principles. But the one thing that we all agree on is that the bigotry and the hate and the white supremacists will not take over this place. That's the city I love. That's the city that I love. That is your city. That's our city. That is our city. So again, this ain't no funeral. This ain't no time to be sad. And trust me, I done been called every kind of N-word and all other kind of other things that you could think of by those clowns over there, and we're still here smiling. We're still here standing bold. We're here standing strong together. Nobody is running us off. Nobody is making us afraid. Nobody is making us cower and go sit in a corner. Nobody is making us say, oh, well, they'll just have it. They can reclaim those streets that they think was once theirs, so they're taking them back again. Nobody here is sitting or standing in fear. We are sitting and standing and locking arms together, because together, we can blow the final mighty blow to supremacy, hatred, and bigotry. You see, I've seen a lot of people, and I'm gonna take my seat in just a second. I might have to come take the mic. But y'all know, I've been reading a lot of Dr. King's letters, not only his speeches, reading his words, his letters from the Birmingham jail cell, talking about the need for the white moderate to stand tall and stand with him. And what I see today is a lot of white moderates from different persuasions standing tall and standing together with not only their black brothers and sisters, but their brothers and sisters who are Latino, who are Asian, and who are a lot of other different things. That's what I'm proud of. That's one thing. But secondly, I've been reading and paying attention to this one particular speech from Dr. King. Everybody likes to talk about the Dr. King who said, you know, he has a dream, which we all do. But the Dr. King, from the speech that I know, my favorite speech, said somebody told a lie one day. They wrote it and couched it in a language of bigotry and hate. They put it in the dictionary and said everything that was black was ugly and evil and vile. And they said that everything that was white was pure and good and in good love and good faith. And he said in his speech that he came to get the language right today. He said in his speech that he came to tell all of his people, black, white, and whomever, that none of us have anything to be ashamed of. None of us have anything to be afraid of. And he came to tell his people that not only was he black and he was proud, but that he was willing to stand with whoever, whenever, wherever for what is right. You see what you all are doing today, what we're doing this morning, we are standing for what is right. We are standing. We're standing. We ain't sitting. We ain't hiding. And yeah, I got a doctorate in education, and I'm saying ain't. We ain't sitting. We ain't hiding. We ain't scared. What you see, look around. What you see is a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a powerful people. A group of people not working as individual fingers, but a group of people who are united as a mighty fist. A group of people who are ready to deliver a mighty blow to white supremacy and hatred. A group of people who have shown, not with their words, but with their actions, that they are willing to love whoever they have to, and they are willing to fight as long as they have to, and they are willing to stand however long as they have to for what is right. And that you need to be proud of. Yeah! So as I take my seat, or as we go stand, remember, the fight doesn't stop August 12th. The fight continues August 13th, September 4th, January 3rd, October 7th of next year, 2019, 2024, 2031. It continues because equity, not equality, is what is needed. We want equity, which means everyone gets what they need in order to level the playing field. Equality means you give everyone the same thing. And in this fight for equity, in social justice, in racial justice, in housing justice, in criminal justice, in this fight for equity in all of those playing fields, I need to see all my brothers and sisters with me. Power to the people.
No fear. White friends not welcome here. No hate. No fear. White friends not welcome here. No hate. No fear. White friends not welcome here. No hate.
Just a couple of points of correction, if you will. Today does mark a funeral in many ways. Today marks the day that Charlottesville buries white supremacy. We also need to correct the lie because all through school we were taught that there are 3 states of matter: liquid, solid, and gas. Today shows that there's a 4th state, black lives.
Two police vans, or a police van and a black van that looks like it's unmarked, although I can't really see it very well from here.
They still got you going around the next block over, guys.
Yeah, based on the white shirt and the boots.
Well, and the police just told them where to go.
And the police just gave them directions.
I want to kind of see where they go. I don't want to follow them, but I just want to see which way they go.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are definitely white supremacists.
They look like skinheads.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them does, I should say.
First white supremacist sighting of the day. The police told them that they were 1 block over, so they must be meeting somewhere to all come in together.
Mm.
Which is basically what happened with the KKK last month.
I see. So it looks like they're leaving this street and taking a left, and the police told them to gather that they're supposed to be a block over, which I guess is where they are having people congregate. And what they did with the KKK rally was to have the KKK gather in one place and let them in all at once.
Are we on Facebook too?
It's a YouTube channel. So I think it's being streamed on Twitter, and I don't know about Facebook. Park closed 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Funny sign. So I'm just gonna see what's over. Yeah, the cops are just kind of milling about. No cars over here. More people gathered. That's the group of people we saw gathered from the other side of on the other side of the park a minute ago.
So we should try to stay on all the time, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the walk.
Okay, cool.
What do you think we should be doing? I'm feeling kind of anxious just to stand here in front of all those people staring at us.
You want to back off? That makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of want to back off.
Okay, so we're leaving Emancipation Park, or the part of the street that is blocked off in front of Emancipation Park. We were just there and kind of taking a note of the cops. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah. There were a couple police just kind of staring at us, making sure we weren't going to get any closer or do anything, and it felt really intimidating.
Yeah. And they were giving, and a group of white supremacists showed up, and the cops told them they were supposed to meet about a block over, and it looks like that spot is going to be down this street, High Street, to the left.
Let's take a left and see if we see where these white supremacists are congregating, because we know they went that way.
So right now, we are on High Street and 2nd.
And we're heading back toward McGuffey Park.
2nd Northeast, and we're heading back towards McGuffey Park. There's a couple counter-protesters congregating around a church right here.
They like their content.
To my right. I'm sorry, to my left. It looks like a couple people associated with a church and a couple people on the team that's designated for care, psychological and physical care, not necessarily in emergency situations, but following up on that.
I wonder if the white supremacists are meeting down this street. I don't want to go down there, but...
Yeah, so now we're on 1st and High Street.
Because the cops told the white supremacists that they're 1 block over.
Right.
And I don't see them right now.
So we're wondering if they're supposed to meet over here or down the other direction.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see.
But we don't see anyone.
Yeah. It would... seems like they shouldn't want them close to McGuffey. Let's head back this way.
Someone says the militia is at the park. Can I see them?
Which park? Oh, one of your commenters.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so we're back, heading towards the northwest corner of Emancipation. This seems to be where, like, we've seen other people are here, and it feels like the cops seem less antsy with people on this side.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
I mean, there's not those big groups of stadies.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
On the other side, where the cops were being kind of intimidating, there were these giant groups of state police that were kind of congregating and maybe strategizing, and it was really clear they didn't want us there. But now we see, look at all these stadies, they're coming down here.
Yeah, it looks like state police are coming down in a line. There's still people over here who are continuing to pray. Counter-protesters who are praying.
Yeah.
Brown uniforms, what does that mean?
Sheriffs.
Sheriffs.
Because they have the stars, they have the badge stars. See, look, now the corner we were just on is totally empty.
Yep, so that's where we just were a minute ago, and it's totally empty. Those groups are not, police are not there anymore. I guess they all moved down this way. You want to try and get a better angle on where they're going?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
sort of unclear.
They're kind of going through the funeral home parking lot.
Oh.
They're kind of heading off to the side of the block of Lee Park.
So there's a funeral home. There's a funeral home that's what, west?
West, yeah, on the west side.
West side of Emancipation Park, and the police are walking through their parking lot. It looks like there's other groups, smaller groups of police, kind of milling about.
If we need more battery packs, let me know because I can get us.
Cool. I should check mine and see how I'm doing. Looks like I'm doing pretty good on battery pack. I must hold quite a bit of charge. Whoops. Just moved. Sorry about that, folks. Okay.
Do you want to go down to like the mall and see what it looks like from the side of the mall?
Sure. Cool.
Okay.
We're gonna go down and come at the park from a different side.
We're gonna go down to the south side of the park and see what it looks like from there. And that's the side that's nearest the downtown mall. We could also go look at the mall and see if people are out.
Yeah, that would be cool. With me. So, I mean, I guess one of the nice things about like keeping these kinds of like fenced-in areas, even though like it's kind of starting to see the police putting so many resources into protecting this bunch of white supremacists who do not even at this point have a permit to be here. It does keep them in too, and you know, no one's going to drive by, like no one's going to see what they're doing really, except for the people who congregate, the counter-protesters who congregate. Walls work both ways, I guess. So we're walking down. We're by McGuffey Park and McGuffey Arts Center, and there's a few medics around, people who are there to supply care if people are injured. You can hear them singing at McGuffey Park. I can't quite hear over, there's like some engines running, I can't hear. This is the back. No, we're at a low angle. So people at the park at McGuffey Park are singing right now. So, I can't tell what they're singing because it's drowned out a little bit by the engine. I don't know if you can.
I can't hear it.
More cops blocking off this area, legal observers who are here to keep, to take notes essentially on what different parties do, what the cops do.
AD Carson stepping on the mic.
Unclear if they're like they're militia or part of the cops, but they're in green camo. And it looks like they're carrying a gun.
Yeah.
Down at the southwest corner.
Let's slow down a little bit as we figure out what there are. There's quite a few of them on either side of the street. They're kind of just hanging out with the cops.
Professor of hip hop.
Yeah, I just want to kind of take it slow and figure out who they are.
Yeah,
but
across the street too.
I'm going to assume this is the militia that someone was commenting about.
But they're just standing with the cops. It looks like they're providing like extra security or something.
So this is probably, someone says, yeah, they think that this is a right-wing militia. They're sitting there, they're just hanging out. There's some cops hanging out with them.
Yeah, because they'll have the sort of same security stance, folded arms, like looking out.
Yeah. And they've got these leg holsters.
It kind of makes me think this.
Yeah, they're open carrying.
Yeah.
There's some across the street. They're wearing like, it looks like it might be bulletproof vests. It's definitely camo vests of some sort.
Right, which is like, I guess.
Or again, you often doubt if you really exist. You wonder whether you aren't simply a phantom in other people's minds, say, a figure in a nightmare which the sleeper tries with all his strength to destroy. It's when you feel like this that out of resentment you begin to bump people back. He says later, I remember that I'm invisible and walk softly so as not to awaken the sleeping ones. Sometimes it's best not to awaken them. There are few things in this world as dangerous as sleepwalkers. I learned in time, though, that it's possible to carry on a fight against them without their realizing it. So as I wrote this piece, I was also thinking about James Baldwin's Fire Next Time. She takes from a hymn. It says, God gave Noah the rainbow sign. No more water. The fire next time. This poem is called Good Morning, America. This is the next time. Prepare for fire. The grotesque fantasy of the shrinking so-called majority, America's nightmare, is slowly transitioning from somnolent slumber to a waking state akin to sleepwalking. America, for as long as it has existed, openly endorsed terror and rode the wave of fear that followed to superpower dominance domestically and abroad. To be clear, when I say America, I mean white America. The America America sees, wants to see. Not the real America, but the ideal America. The America that stated all men are created equal while enslaving men and women who legally counted 2 fists less than their American masters. America, the beautiful, who crowns her good with brotherhood, but from sea to shining sea, shoots down and locks up young black boys and girls, men and women, with impunity. This is the next time. Prepare for fire. America's nightmare is America waking up. Good morning, America says. Good morning, America says. Good morning, America says good. Morning, America says you're a true patriot. Don't let America die. Don't let America's death be in vain. Fight for America.
So they've got handguns as well as assault rifles. Handguns on
the black and brown bruises on the American body must be cut off, must be amputated, or risk infection spreading. Sleep, America. This is an age-old procedure, perfected, or inject local anesthetic, remove, bruise, move, repeat procedure, or just sleep.
Yeah, we're not going to.
It'll be all over when you wake up. This is the next time.
Looks like
prepare for fire. This is America burning. This is America learning this is no nightmare. This is America waking up, realizing its bruises have not been removed, may not be removable, and trying,
I don't know if y'all can see this.
Trying to remove these imperfections or risk infection spreading. This black becoming blacker, this brown becoming more, this body belonging to this mind that has perfected seeing itself as pristine. This is America operating, white America cutting into her native skin, excising what does not belong, what she does not want to see. Cut deeper, cut to the white. It burns, but it's worth burning. Not seeing it must be worth the price. This is America screaming. This is America waking up. This is the next time. Prepare for fire. The remains will be black. This is America on the brink of break, ever aware of a two-ness of which there is a constitutional greater and lesser, necessary evils that history won't heal and Hennessy won't help, darkness and lightness created in the likeness of white God and white Jesus, who would rather see white America burn than see it turn into what it already is, what it always was. America becoming awake, America becoming aware. Is America becoming so scared of what she knows she is capable of doing to herself? Dream sweet, America. Dream deep. Breathe deeper. Now deeper. And sleep. Sleep. You were made from this. You were made for this. You were made by this. You are on fire. This is the next time. America is burning. Thank you.
That was A.D. Carson reading America is Burning.
Thank you all for coming out here. My name is Wes Gobar. I'm the president of the Black Student Alliance at UVA. Yesterday, I saw hundreds of people with torches walking around my grounds, threatening my friends who live in the lawn. And, you know, I'm just reminded that this is really the ugliest face of white supremacy, but this is what black people have been facing for a long time. Whether that's from slavery to building this university, to lynchings, to Sage Smith, to Martise Johnson on the corner. This is the culmination of
so we just don't want to be kind of in the middle of the two rows of people.
Why have they come here today?
Clergy,
why is the alt-right here? Because Charlottesville decided to stand up and tell the truth. We decided. Because all of you, because community members came out and pressured City Council, because we moved those statues. We decided to move those statues because we decided to provide resources to, which we can do more, certainly, to community members, black community members in Charlottesville.
So the clergy are
marching. I'm glad that the last speaker mentioned James Baldwin. He once said that not everything that is face can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is face. And that is what all of you are doing right now. Once we start to confront our issue, once we start to bring justice, then these people will come, and they will continue to come. But if all of you are out here, if all of you out here stand to defend our community, to stand up and say, no, this will not happen in Charlottesville, then I have a feeling that we'll be all right. Now, change will only come if we all, again, every single one of you comes out again. We can't just have people come out on August 12th to do this action. These big events. They are trained. But Black Lives Matter Charlottesville will be having things. Tomorrow, there will be more action required from all of you. So right now, I asked that you sign up for. We have a listserv for the Black Student Alliance, and we'll specifically mark out what community events are coming. So it's bsa@uva@gmail.com. And I also know that white supremacists have not only walked through these grounds with flames, but they tried to leave flyers and physical markers. So we'd ask that people can come out and clear grounds and just make sure that there's nothing around and remove them. We'll do our best to make sure that students are out here fighting this fight as well. Yeah, BSA @uva@gmail.com. And just walking around here today, I've really been encouraged seeing people, so many people in the community. They'll walk up and say hi, they will raise a fist, they will say be safe. And that, I think, has been the most encouraging thing I see. Not that 100 people from the outside have come through and tried to intimidate people of color, tried to send a message. But the stronger message, a message that will last beyond that, was all of you coming here today. So thank you again, and please continue to come out. Please continue to tell the truth. Please continue to stand up for justice. We need you. So thank you.
That was the BSA President, Wes Gobar. see an outpouring of support from UVA students, young people, young and old, clergymen,
Good morning,
women.
everybody. My name's Anna Frazier, and I just want to thank everybody for letting me waffle whether or not I was actually going to say anything this morning. Listening to the other speakers and walking around this morning and seeing everybody out has been extraordinarily inspiring. And so, you know, earlier this week I went to go see the new movie that's out in theaters called Detroit. And so as to not go into the spoilers, the main premise is that it's going over this horrifically violent scene that happens during the uprisings in Detroit in the late 1960s. After I saw the movie, I went home and I talked to my mother because she lost a flip-flop as a little girl running from the west side to the east side during those riots. But I knew I was coming down to Charlottesville today, and I knew that I probably, hopefully, God willing, would not lose a shoe, but I wore lace-ups just in case. But at the end of the day, for me, having just graduated from UVA in May,
people who are turning away.
Yeah.
They don't know how to look at someone who's kneeling in front of them, singing.
They're looking off to the side, or they're looking at each other because they don't know how to be confronted with this. Actually, like, they're all kind of left. There's like only a couple left on this block.
Yeah.
Oh God, we ask now. Oh God, that you might.
Oh God, save the Queen.
Steal away the hate. God, we come in the name of love.
Remember, we was here about 4 years ago.
May perfect love cast out all fear.
Religion. Highly professional psychiatrist.
It's really quiet. They're kind of holding the line silently. They're humming really gently. But there's not a lot of screaming or confrontation, verbal confrontation.
Some of the clergy on the end are giving prayers, while the rest of them hum.
God of all of us, forgive us for the sin of white supremacy. Help us realize the white supremacy in ourselves, in our communities,
Best-selling book.
and in our country.
You're being a biggest pastor. Is this every lesbian clergy member in America in one place?
God, thank you for making me a straight white
High
man.
percentage.
So that I can have the opportunity and responsibility to stand with those who are so dehumanized and made to feel like they don't belong here in our country of equal rights for all.
Spirit of God, help us reject this paradigm of domination and let us remember our common unity as humanity and part of creation. May we be led in love. May our hearts be free of fear and hate. May we learn to love with deep, abiding love for all of humanity.
He's wearing a
For
backpack and
everyone.
a gray shirt.
Everyone is within inside,
But he
within
has
the
like kind of
circle of love.
a grin on his face as he said, like yells back, kind of Pepe style comments.
All of which have to do with calling clergy people gay.
Yeah.
God of all, and especially the oppressed, help
the
us
line's
to work
continuing
against
to pray.
injustice. And remember, the white supremacy is a lie.
The white supremacists are kind of
a lie. The white supremacy is a lie.
I pray for an end to white supremacy and the presence of true justice. True peace, which is technically justice.
Holy and ancient one, I thank you for the opportunity to stand with my sisters and brothers this morning and confront the evils of white supremacy. We pray that love will prevail. Dear God, we thank you for an opportunity to
is going down the line. Every other person is saying something.
Dear God, let your love be stronger than the hate that is between
So it's like the whole line
those here
speaking.
today. May you distinguish and get rid of every bit of white supremacy and hatred, beginning here and then through the world today. Dear God, stomp out this hatred and white supremacy. Let's all be here for love.
Dear Mother, Father, God, thank you for all of your creation. For every one of us here in this park today is of your creation. And may we all come together as your commandments insist, that we care for our brothers and our sisters, we care for our neighbors, because it's in the way we care for our neighbors is how we care for you. And yes, dear Mother, Father, God, we love you, and love is overpowering the fear that calls us here today. Love is more powerful than the fear that has prompted people to leave the safety of their homes. So please, God, envelop all of us, every one of us today, and lift us up to be closer to you today, God. Thank you for this opportunity to get to know our neighbors more intimately and the fear that's within each of us. Thank you, God, for your transforming love.
May the spirit of love and of life be with all of us. May we find a way across our differences. May we remember the words of Jesus, who told us to love one another as he had loved us. Lest we forget that we are his and we are one people.
God, forgive us of our sins, of racism, and hatred towards different people. May we learn to love others as you have loved us.
There's some
love justice,
women over here and walk down. See, like all of these women. Yeah, we're just on the other side of the street now.
Yeah, we're facing the opposite side of the street. Hanging out with these guys. Militia folks here. Texting up the store. Do you want to go back? I feel like what they're saying is really what's important. We're going to go back to the clergy because what they're saying is what matters.
Mis abuelos, toda la familia del mundo está aquí conmigo, con nuestros, en paz, en el gloria.
This one guy is turned around. This one militia guy is turned around so he doesn't to not face them.
Let us be the breakthrough, the joyous preparers of the breach.
God, I thank you for really exposing Charlottesville and bringing the hate to the light, because it needed to come out. Hate cannot hide, because if hate hides and wins, if it comes to the forefront, then it's defeated. So I thank you for not only exposing Charlottesville, but bringing all people together, all people of all colors. And if the ones full of hate did a DNA test, then they too will realize that they are a part of us.
Holy One, we come today in peace, abiding love. We come to bring the good news of your love for all people. And God, for those for whom that is not good news, those who do not believe in that love for all people, may their hearts be open. May they see that it is good news for all. And Holy One, if they cannot see today, may they be touched. And God, may those who are in harm today, because of the hatred of this system of white supremacy, may they know your love, and may they feel our hope and love and stand in the sun. God, be with us in this day and every day as we move forward.
So after every person speaks, every other person in this line is turning around. So half of them can watch each other's back.
Make us fear one another,
do not allow us to see one another as your good creation. More to you, I appreciate it.
Right behind them, there's a line of police.
Yeah, I'm just going to wait for these people to pass.
It's really striking.
Yeah.
There's the white supremacists, and right behind them there's a line of state police, and then sort of in the background there's Charlottesville City Police, just kind of sitting.
Yeah, I hear someone shouting. This looks like the
there's a
white
march.
supremacist march coming in.
I don't know, where do you want to be?
Ask HQ if it's better for us to be here. It looks like the militia are motioning to each other. He was just wagging his finger, and they're moving in a line.
Out! 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 This way!
They're trying to get people to leave. They're telling people to leave. They're whistling at people.
Oh. Over on the other side. Double line. Double line. Double line. Double line.
You got this guy saying double line.
This guy over here is telling everyone to make a double line. Counter-protesters are shouting Black Lives Matter. And this is carrying black, some sort of black flag, and it looks like medieval type style shields are walking into the park. We're going to go around to the other side of the clergy. We're getting in the park? Okay.
Yeah, this march of white supremacists just came down Main Street. They're all wearing kind of white and khaki. It looks like a uniform. They're carrying black flags. Can you see what's on them?
Let's go up to these people up here, but not past them. It looks like the flags have a bird, probably an eagle, I suppose, and circumscribed. I see. It's an eagle on a branch. Some of them have these twin axes painted on their shield, and they're moving towards us. From both sides on one side, and white shirt khakis on the other.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
The clergy are asking everyone to be quiet, while white supremacists are shouting things like blood and soil and other kinds of Nazi chants.
Somebody on the line.
Okay. We got y'all.
Stay quiet.
We got y'all.
The line quiets down. It's just white supremacists right down to
Yeah, if you didn't catch that, people are being directed to be quiet by someone on the line, by a clergyman on the line. And to stop chanting and to have a silent action. And
okay, so the white supremacists just entered the sort of interior corral of the park.
Very the gentleman reading from the good book, which when I say that I specifically mean the Bible.
What culture? You're not respecting what they just called.
folks are shouting back and forth a little bit. Let's definitely. I mean, it's tense. Yeah. A gentleman standing up on a bench shouting at the clergy, talking about freedom of religion, and the clergy broke out in song, and he stepped down and got quiet real quick.